So today what we will be doing is Igcse Biology Paper 2 MCQ Extended. So it's actually a really cool paper. Like this one, I found it kind of interesting nonetheless. And so without further ado, let's solve the paper. So just to tell you guys, I haven't solved the paper yet. But I have solved the extended papers. Like extended means the main paper, the paper 4, and I found it quite interesting. So I thought that maybe this paper is interesting too. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, as you can see, okay, this paper is completely new to me, so I've never solved the questions, but I'll try to answer them correctly. So this is a surprise for me. Okay, question number 1. Which characteristics do all living organisms show? Breathing, excretion, photosynthesis, tropism. Tropism is shown not by all the organisms, like human beings, take for example. They don't show tropism. Tropism is like the ability to like adjust with the environment. In other words, like there's gravitropism and phototropism. Phototropism is attraction towards light, and gravitropism towards gravity. I'm actually not a really good teacher, but just telling you this. Okay, so which characteristic do all living things show? So it's breathing or excretion. Excretion is the most probable answer because actually breathing is the most probable answer because excretion, some organisms don't excrete. Like take example bacteria, it's a living organism, they don't excrete. So it's certainly A, breathing. Question number 2. The diagram shows some animal cells under a microscope. So what will be present in X? What will be present at X? So what's X? 1 cell membrane, 1 cell wall, 2 cell membranes, 2 cell walls. Okay, this question is kind of confusing. What is it? 1 cell membrane? Or it's certainly not a cell wall because it's an animal cells. Animal cells don't have cell walls. So just cross out this one. Just cross out B and D. Just cross them out. So yeah, we'll just cross them out. So so it's certainly a cell membrane. So it's 1 or 2. Actually, I'm kind of confused here. It's probably 2. Yeah, it's 2 cell membrane. So we'll just lock the answer as C. We'll see soon while checking the marking. We're just doing the first 10 questions. So each of the diagram shows an area of cytoplasm. So each is an area of cytoplasm, which is a form of a prokaryote. So yeah, prokaryotes are like bacteria. Bacteria are prokaryotes, and bacteria don't have cell walls, don't have nucleus, so it's certainly C. Look and see. Question number 4. The diagram shows a cross section through a root. Which are the levels of organization of living structures? So, okay, A, B, okay, so you understand what's a cell, an organ, or a tissue. So, A. Okay, so let's look at P. P is, it's actually the whole R is a cell, so it's, cell would be R. Yeah, cell would be R. So it's really D. Am I doing this right? Okay, sorry. So R is an organ. So R is the organ. Q would be the tissue, and P would be the cell. It's B. Let's move on. Which characteristics are correct for both osmosis and diffusion? So require a partially permeable membrane, require concentration gradient, and are energy consuming processes. So osmosis and diffusion are actually are okay. So osmosis requires a partially permeable membrane, but diffusion does not. So it'll be a cross. So it's C or D. Now requires a concentration gradient. Both require a concentration gradient. Actually, diffusion does. Osmosis requires a water potential gradient, not a concentration gradient. So it'll be wrong. And both of them need energy. So it's D. Moving on. Which diagram shows the structure of DNA? So A goes with T and C goes with G. ATCG, AT, TA, CG, GC, ATGC. I think this is the one because A does not go with G. So A always goes with T. Over here A goes with C, and over here A goes with C, and it's kind of confusing. So it's B. So 6 is the answer is B. 7. The graph shows an enzyme activity affected by temperature. How can the change in activity between 40 degrees Celsius and 55 degrees Celsius can be explained? So till 40, the enzyme is reacts at its most, but after that, the enzymes denature. So heat has killed the enzyme. The enzyme has been used up. No, that's not right. They have denatured. The reactants are moving faster. The substrate is less likely to take to the active site. I think that is the correct answer. Because enzymes are not killed, they are denatured. The killed is too vague for an answer. So I think D might be the answer. Yeah, it's D. I don't know, guys. Okay, we have to check this. I'm really not confident this time. Food tests are set up as shown, which test tube contains the most carbon dioxide after an hour. Let's see. Light. So they have light here. Light is given and light is not given. So polythene is colored in A and B to keep light out. So, and the plant won't be able to photosynthesize. Okay, let me just, water snail just gives out carbon dioxide. So I think the one with the water snail would be the most, will be able to live in D, but the aquatic plant would not be able to photosynthesize, so won't give up oxygen as there is no sunlight. And it's A. It's probably A because the plant will also start respirating, I guess. Question number 9. The graph shows daily carbon dioxide uptake and transpiration by the plant Agave americana. Okay, that's a good name. I like it. It's kind of cool, I guess. Okay, the plant is adapted to live in very dry conditions. So what can be concluded from this graph? Transpiration, CO2 uptake. So most stomata are closed during dark periods. Most stomata are closed during light periods. Okay. Yeah. All right. There is no water uptake during light periods, and there is no carbon dioxide uptake during dark periods. This graph looks interesting, but it's not. It's kind of confusing. But the answer would be there is no carbon dioxide uptake during dark periods. That is what I think. All right. Let's see this again. The CO2 uptake. So it meets there and transpiration. I think it's C. There's no carbon dioxide uptake during the. No, actually, it'll be A. Most tomato. It'll be B. We're taking B. And the last question. Question number 10. In plants, which ions are used to make amino acids? Magnesium, nitrates, phosphates, potassium. Well, making amino acids, you need proteins. Proteins are made by nitrates, and so it's B. Okay, so before we move on, let's just check if we have done everything correctly or not. Okay, question number 1. Which characteristics do all living things show? Wait a second, we have done a mistake. Okay, I just realized something, like it's excretion. All living organisms excrete. The example which I gave of amoeba, it's wrong. I just realized that amoeba do excrete and they don't breathe. Yes, exactly. How could I do such a mistake? All living organisms show excretion. Okay? All of them. 2 would be C. Yes, 2 cell membranes. That's correct. 2 cell membranes. We'll keep that. We'll just check later. Prokaryotes, bacteria, no nucleus. C. 4th one would be a B. It would be B because P is a cell, R is the organ, and P is the tissue. Q is the tissue. So it's B. 5. Let's see. Which characteristic? Okay, I think both require concentration gradient. I'm changing my answer to C. Well, this is just a guess, but it could also be D, so don't blame me. I'm just doing this calculated thing, checking. 6 would be B, certainly B, because AOT and all that. 7, as I said, the substrate is less likely to fit into the active site, so it would be D. 4 test tubes. The one I think which I told you guys would be A, because it's covered, no photosynthesis, so the plant will start respirating and stuff like that, which I explained, and I think that's the answer, right? Question number 9 is B. Most stomata are closed during light periods. I explained that why, and yeah. And question number 10 would be nitrates, because they produce amino acids. Now let's check. I'll just pause the video and just take you directly in the next second. Oh, took me a fair 1 minute to open the mushroom. Anyways, so I opened the flea masking. Let's scroll down. The first answer is B, as I said. C, C, B, C, B, D, A, B, A, B, D. Okay, we are correct. All our answers are correct, and all my explanations are correct. So I hope you guys understood. If you didn't, please let me know in the comments, because in the next 10 seconds I'm starting my second part of this video. Count me down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Showdown. Okay guys, welcome back to my part 2 of this video. Like on YouTube I'll just join this, but like I'm kind of busy. Okay guys, you get it already. Okay, number 11, moving on. The following symptoms can be caused by a dietary deficiency: bone pain, dental problems, fragile bones, skeletal deformities, calcium, but actually iron, protein, vitamin C, vitamin D. But it's certainly not vitamin C, and it's probably not iron. It's not iron. Yeah, it's not that. It's protein or vitamin D. I think I'm going with vitamin D. So let's just take D as vitamin D. We'll come back while checking towards it. Okay, guys? I'll discuss with you guys, like, what could the possibilities of what answers could lie in it. Statements 1 to 4 describe the stages in the development of cholera. Chloride ions are secreted in the gut. osmosis causes the water to move into the gut. The infected person becomes dehydrated and toxins are produced by the pathogenic bacteria. Now, toxins are produced by the pathogenic bacteria. Let's just see. We need to chloride a secret into. So 1 after 4, infected becomes dehydrated. So then 3, 2, osmosis causes water to move into the gut. It will be 2, 3. So it's first would be 4. Toxins are produced. Fluoride ions are secreted. Infected 4, 1. Osmosis causes water to move into the gut, and the infected person becomes dehydrated. 4, 1, 2, 3. Answer is C. Oof. Okay. Question number 13. The diagram shows the human tooth. Which statement best describes the function of the tooth? It bites into the food, it cuts the food, it grinds the food, it tears the food. This specific tooth grinds the food. It doesn't bite. Bite would be the incisors or canines. Cut would be the canines. Grind would be the molars or premolars. And tears would also be the canines. And I think it's C. Let's take it as C. The diagram shows the pH activity of different enzymes X, Y, and Z. The table shows the pH of different parts of the alimentary canal, the mouth, the stomach, the small intestine. Mouth 7, stomach 2, small intestine 2, 8.5. Which enzymes in the graph are most likely to be protease enzymes? Protease enzymes. Let's see. The mouth, amylase. Mouth produces amylase. Stomach, pepsin. It's small intestine, 8.5. So that's Z. Y and Z is the most probable answer. Or only Z. I think we'll go with only Z. We'll do it. 11 and 14 are to be checked. The diagram shows the cross sections through a root and a stem. Which labels are correct? Phloem, xylem, phloem. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so outside is phloem and inside is xylem. So Y is phloem. So it could be B or C, B or D. And now W. W would be the xylem. And B would be the phloem. B. Which processes are used to take up ions and water? Ions would be active transport and water osmosis. A. Oh, that was quick. Because if you have, I'll be producing some division videos soon, so better check that out. We are on a gaming channel. I'm doing study guides. That's really awkward. Those of you who are going to give the exam in 2019 or 2020, board exams in 10th IGCSE for 10th grade, they will get my, till then you will get my full revision guide for physics, chemistry, biology, math, for all 4 of them on YouTube for free. So, yeah, you guys can enjoy. Okay, I just did some spoiling. Sorry, guys. 17. And sorry, those of you who are doing the exam in 2018. I won't be able to produce videos so soon. So it'll take me a year to do all of them. Because this is going to be, like, I'm going to be taking some questions from past papers, going to create some PowerPoints, and explain every detail you need to know about every chapter in the syllabus. So I'm just discussing the syllabus in short. Anyways, question number 17. Which of the following increases transpiration? Okay, interesting question. Air molecules around the leaf with less kinetic energy. Take out B. Take out it. A. air around the leaf with high humidity. Take out air. Disgusting thing. An absence of light falling on the leaf. Again, take out C. It's certainly due. Water molecules in the leaf, but more kinetic energy increases transpiration. Take it D. That was dumb. Sorry. 18. The diagram shows a human blood cell. This is a phagocyte. I'm 110% sure that this is a phagocyte, and it's not a lymphocyte, so it won't produce antibodies. It won't produce fibrinogen, as it is not a it's not a platelet. Oxygen transport. It's not a RBC, red blood cell. It's certainly a phagocyte, so it does phagocytosis. It's pretty simple. As a phagocyte does phagocytosis, it matches its name. Take it. Question number 19. What a disease-causing organism is called? A pathogen. It's not a phagocyte. Phagocyte helps a host is the thing like a virus which a virus enters into, so that's a host. And an antibody also protects it, so it's definitely not a disease-causing organism. It's a pathogen. Pathogens are also defined as disease-causing organisms. It's given in our syllabus. If you haven't read the syllabus, you should read it. It's like your Bible for studying in Igcse. So always refer to your syllabus. Always. Okay? It's a pathogen. So 19 is C. Which is the function of the cartilage in the trachea? Gas collection, produces mucus, traps bacteria, prevents collapse of the trachea. Now this is an interesting question. I did a mistake in my exam. Like in my school exam, of course, they asked us the same question, and I did not know the function of the cartilage in the trachea. My teacher explained it to me, and I really do not remember how. Okay, let me think about it. So it's not produces mucus. I'm almost sure about that. Prevents collapse of the ear. I'm also sure that it's not that. Gas exchange probably, and traps bacteria probably. Okay, wait. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So it does not produce mucus, but it prevents. Oh yes, I remember. It prevents the collapse of the trachea. Yes, my teacher explained it to me. Yes, I did this question wrong in my exam because I did not know it. So yeah, it prevents the collapse of the trachea. So sometimes there are tracheas also. You get it, right? Okay, I'm really not a good teacher at this. I'm trying to be a really good teacher, and I'll be one day. But don't worry, you people who are going to give the exam in 2017 as 2019, 2020. As till then, I'll probably create good videos. Anyways, moving on to our checking list. So, as I said, vitamin D, it's surely vitamin D because it's not protein. Protein causes maramus. It's a disease in which like your bones are fragile, but it doesn't cause dental problems. So all four of them should work. So yeah, only fragile bones are the problem in proteins. Iron, like there's a deficiency in your blood flow and stuff like that. Hemoglobin the hemoglobin count reduces. So that's what happens with the lack of iron. Vitamin C causes you scurvy. Like if you don't eat fruit jam every day, like just kidding. You should eat fruit jam. Like it's kind of healthy. Anyways, like fruit jam has a lot of vitamin C, which helps you from getting scurvy. Scurvy is like bleeding in the gums. So yeah, and vitamin D causes these bone pains, dental problems, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's vitamin D. I'm 100% sure. 12 is C. I'm also 100% sure in this because I discussed it with you guys. Toxins are first produced, then the chloride ions are secreted in the gut. Then the infected person becomes then osmosis moves water into the gut, which causes removal of water, and thus the person becomes dehydrated. Okay. Question number 13 shows a human bone. As I told you guys, this is a premolar or a molar, um, most probably a molar, and it's used for grinding food. So let's see. Question number 14. The graph shows different effects of pH on the activity of three enzymes, different enzymes. So, um, as I told you guys, it's D, X, and Z only. This is because like protease, it's also like, okay, mouth produces protease because it needs to digest the enzyme. The mouth has a pH of 7. Oh, sorry. The stomach produces protease, and so X, the stomach, because proteins are digested. The protein needs to be digested, and protein needs to be broken down into polypeptides and amino acids, and thus the stomach also has some protease. It's in the textbook. Certainly, that's why I'm telling you guys. And protease needs to be both in basic and in acidic conditions. First, it needs to be acidified into polypeptides and then broken down to amino acids, and thus the answer is X and Z or Z. 15 is B, as I told you. Always remember, like if you go and count the alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Okay, so P comes before X. So P is always in the outer region while X is in the inner region. If you take a circle, concentrated circle, A, B, C, D in the most outermost and go deep down until Z. Take, for example, an atom. X, Y, Z, all of them are electrons floating around a tiny little nucleus containing protons and electrons. Take the protons and electrons as end alphabets like W, X, Y, and Z, stuff like that. So like X is in the nucleus, but to provide the outer shell, you need the P. You need P, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Then Q, so that they protect the Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z nucleus. Get it? I hope you get it. When I get my revision guides, revision videos done, I'll explain that to you in a better and very easy manner. Anyways, moving on to question number 16. Which processes are used by blue hair cells? Ions. It should just strike to your mind that ion uptake is always active transport and water uptake is always osmosis. This should just like shoot into your mind all of a sudden. So just load up your brain with ion intake as active transport and water intake as osmosis. Get it? I hope you do. Question number 17. Which of the following increases transpiration? As I said, A, B, C are hell. Go to hell. Because it's common sense, like air around the leaf with high humidity. High humidity, like if your atmosphere is really, really, really humid. And like, for example, I live in India. So in India, it's like pretty humid here during rainy seasons. And so my mom, like, even though it's not raining and the weather report says it like it's not raining, she like dries up the clothes inside the house. This is because like the atmosphere is pretty humid outside, and so like due to that, the water won't evaporate. So transpiration is the evaporation of water from a specific thing, like mostly from leaves. And so when they evaporate, that is called transpiration. It's just another process for evaporating. It's similar to that. Air molecules are on the leaf with less kinetic energy. They'll move on, like take molecules. They move on. If they move really slowly, they can't kick each other outside. They actually don't do that. I'm just giving an example. They don't kick each other outside. Always count the kinetic molecules as they are in competition with each other. Like they always compete to win. But if they are less, they don't have so much energy. They'll be like so slow. Oh, I'm really lazy. I cannot do this, and it won't be able to kick it out. It's pretty simple. So it's definitely not B, because air molecules move around the leaf with less kinetic energy and stuff like that. C, an absence of light falling on the leaf. There's always an absence of light falling on the leaf. So if there is an absence of light falling on the leaf, no light, no transpiration. This is because light has these kinetic energies where it's like want to come and replace those kinetic energies. They just come and kick them out and let the molecules go into the air and transpirate. Okay, I just invented that. That's not a word, okay, guys? Don't write that in your exams. So it's definitely not C. So A, B, C, just kick them out. D, water molecules in the leaf with more kinetic energy. The opposite of B, so more kicking out. Boom, boom, boom. Exactly. More transpiration in D. 18 shows a human blood cell. As I told you, this looks like a phagocyte, so it does phagocytosis, nothing else. Oxygen, transport, hemoglobin, fibrinogen, platelets, and antibody protection. Guess, lymphocytes. Oh, what is a disease-causing organism? I told you, pathogen is the definition for a disease-causing organisms. Antibody and phagocytes help us to protect our body, so they definitely don't cause diseases. And a host is what a virus enters into. That's all the host. Which is a function of the cartilage in the trachea. It prevents the collapse of the trachea. If your trachea collapses, you can't breathe properly, and your body will go haywire. It's not fun. But I'm just guessing it's not fun. It's obviously not fun. Okay. Anyways, moving on to the math game, we need to check our answers. Video in 1. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Not for me, for you guys, because I just paused the video, paused the recording, and came here. Okay. So 11. D, C, D. 14 is B. B, A, D, C, and B. Boom, yeah. We are correct, guys. We are correct. So let's just move on back to where we were. So I'll start the next video in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys, we are back with another episode. Continuing on, probably the same video for you guys. Okay. 21. Let's solve this paper. This paper is actually kind of interesting. I like it. Which is the equation for anaerobic respiration in yeast? Yeast produces ethanol, and the formula for ethanol is C2H5OH. So it's A. Moving on to question number 22. Okay, sorry about that. The video probably got sticky. Okay, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyways, okay. Question number 22. Oh, we've been recording a good 34 minutes. A cumulative graph, like just time cumulative. Forget it. Okay. Question number 22. A longitudinal section of a kidney and some associated structures have been labeled. Which labeling is incorrect? A. Okay, so this thing, the ureters are correct in A, B, C, D. The cortex medullus, it's A or B. This is the renal artery. So vein moves away from the heart, and artery comes towards the heart. Artery moves away from the heart, so it's renal artery, and renal vein will go away from the heart. Relevant will go away from the kidneys. So it's I. It's A. Sorry. Why did I just speak? Or shouldn't I? That's weird. Question number 23. The steps to produce a reflex action where the hand is withdrawn from a hot object are shown. Nerve impulses pass from the sensory neuron to the relay neuron. Nerve impulses pass from the motor to the effector. Nerve impulses pass from the receptor to the neuron. Which is the correct sequence of steps? Okay, so we need to do the correct order. So it'll be from the nerve impulses pass from the receptor to the neuron. So it always goes from receptor to neuron, then from sensory neuron to the relay neuron, and from the motor neuron to the effector neuron. I think it's 3-1-2. The receptor will go to the neuron, to one of the neurons, which would be the sensory neuron. The sensory neuron will carry impulses to the relay neuron, and the relay neuron will carry impulses to the motor neuron. The motor neuron will then carry the electrical nerve impulses to the effector cell. So it's 3-1-2. The correct answer is C. Question number 2024. Oh, sorry. How many different kinds of cone receptor and rod receptors are there in the human retina? Okay, this question usually confuses a lot of people, but it's pretty simple. The answer is pretty simple, as you actually should know this if you studied the chapter well and see the syllabus well. There are 3 types of cone receptors, because the cone receptors will show different, like what you see. Like the cones give you color. So there are obviously 3: red, green, and blue. In art, if you do art, you would know that there are 3 main primary colors. So these primary colors are red, green, and blue, and all the colors are made from these 3 primary colors. So all the colors originate from these 3 colors, and these cones, what they do is give colors. Like, for example, whatever you see on the book is because of your eyes, because of your cones, those tiny, tiny cells in your eyes which help you to see color. There are 3 types, only 3 types, make you see millions, and millions of combinations of colors. Okay, I was just exaggerating a bit, but forget it. So there are 3 types of cone receptors. That's why some colorblind people, like, they have less cones of one particular type. Maybe they have less blue cones, so they'll be blue colorblind, so they won't be able to recognize blue very properly, or maybe green not very properly if they are colorblind to green. Yeah, I have a friend who's colorblind to blue, so I'm just telling you guys. And rod receptors. There's only one type of rod receptor which helps you see in the dark. So the answer is C. 3 types of cone receptors and 1 type of rod receptor. Moving on, 25. What is the result of release of adrenaline? So if adrenaline is is released, your blood glucose concentration would definitely increase, and your pulse rate will also become increased. Like, it's your flight and fight. Take for example, let me just turn on the webcam. It'll be easier for you to recognize this. Okay. For example, there's a man right over here beside me. Okay? So he's about to kill me. What would I do? I'll get scared. I'll get really, really, really scared. And as I get scared, the adrenaline in me would increase. So my pulse rate will increase. So I'd run faster, so fast, so fast. My adrenaline would increase. And so my heartbeat will increase. That means the pulse rate would increase. And the blood glucose concentration would also increase. That is why whenever you get scared, you also feel a bit hungry. Turning off the webcam. Okay, I don't know how to turn this off. Oh, got it. That was good explaining. I hope that was useful. Moving on to question 26. Which statement about microorganisms is correct? Bacteria killed by hydrochloric acid in duodenum. This is wrong. Just kick that out. Hydrochloric acid is always made in the... Any guesses? Yes, correct. The stomach. So it's just kick out A. Useless. Hydrochloric acid is never found in the duodenum. Moving on to B. Bacteria can become resistant to antibiotics. This is a major question asked in many of the papers, but in a different way. They just spin you around the question. Like they won't hold your ear in the right way. They'll just pinch it with another way. Like, for example, my ear, for example, is the question. So what they would do is they won't just pinch this ear like this. They'll pinch it, taking the other arm, they'll pinch it like this. They would beat up around the bush in the question. In other words, I hope that was useful again. So, question number, so the answer is B, because we'll move on to C. Bacterial infection and viruses are treated by antibiotics. Bacterial infections and viruses. Bacterial infections, sometimes. Viruses, never, ever, 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 never, ever, never, never, ever. Whatever you call it. Never, ever, yeah. So viruses just don't die. They say that a cold will get well in 7 days. And if you take antibiotics, it'll get well in a week. Which means the same. So there is of no use of taking antibiotics if you have a viral infection like influenza, for example. And bacteria produce sugars that cause tooth decay. Now they produce acid that causes tooth decay. So, yeah. Moving on to so the answer is B. Moving on to question number 27. Dianthus flowers can be one of three kinds of colors: red, pink, or white. A red flower is always homozygous, and a white flower is always homozygous. Pink flowers are heterozygous. If a red and a white flower are crossed, what percentage of the offspring would be would be pink? Now you need to draw. You would need to draw something called You would need to draw something called a Punnett square. So it's not that hard to draw, but I'll explain. It's like a square in which you need to divide your genotypes and your genotypes and put them into a tabular form, and then calculate your chances of what kind of flower it will be. So that's homozygous is like. Let me just turn on the webcam. I'm just going to draw it on the spot right now. A Punnett square. I have this right now with me. Now, let's take the homozygous red flower as PR. You can take, they'll give you in the question paper. I mean, PR, PW, PW. This PR and PR I'll just move this with this PR and PW is your genotypes. Now, you want to make it into a more tabular form. This would just ease your thing. Now, if you mix PR and PW together, you'll get PR, PW. PR, PW, PR, PW, PR, PW. So like this is either 100% chance or a 0% chance, but the answer would be a, a 25% chance. This is because the answer would be 100% chance over here, because an HRHW or PRPW would mean that it's heterozygous, and if a homozygous red and a homozygous white breed together, there is a 100% chance that there would be an offspring that is pink. So your answer to question number 27 is D, 100%. Closing the webcam. Question number 28. An alligator. Okay, alligator came to a biology paper. Very good. I like it. Okay, an alligator has 32 chromosomes in each of its cells of its nose. Okay, nose. How many chromosomes will an alligator contain? It's quite obvious. 32. 32 chromosomes. Everywhere 32 chromosomes. Only its sex cells or gametes, for example, will have half the number of chromosomes. That would be what's calculated. 16. Yeah, 16 chromosomes. Moving on to question number 29. Which hormone is produced by cells in the placenta of a developing fetus? FSH, LH, testosterone, and progesterone. Well, the answer is progesterone. Progesterone is always is always produced by the cells in the placenta of a developing fetus. You should read the textbook because this chapter is quite hard. It's really not easy. You should read the whole this whole chapter, reproduction. It's not an easy chapter. Oh, okay. We have condoms here. The diagram shows 4 types of birth control devices, which is not a barrier method of contraception. Okay, the A is a condom, B is a femidom, D is a diaphragm, and C is an IUD. So it's not no, C is something else. I don't know that. What is that? I actually don't know that. But A, B, and D are barrier methods of contraception. I think we'll go with C. So the answer for 30 is C, because A, B, and D are obviously methods of barrier method of contraception. So I think C is the answer here. Okay, I've never seen this kind of question before. This is actually kind of awkward. Yeah. Okay, I'll meet you with the marks in 3, 2, 1. We are back with the mark scheme. A, C, C, D, B, D, B, D, C. Well, that's correct. I was pretty confident in this because, sorry. Wait. I did till 28, 29, D and C. Okay, that's correct. Okay. I was pretty confident in this. That's why I didn't discuss this type, but still I'll just discuss with you guys. Just giving you a revision. I'll explain why. I have to. It's part of me. This is real. This is me. I should stop singing because you hate me. Okay, that was bad. Okay, so anaerobic respiration, ethanol is formed. So it's definitely A. The formula of ethanol is C2H5OH. And if you simplify the formula even more, if you balance the equation, it's 2 times C2H5OH plus 2 times CO2. You can balance this yourself if you're not so sure. But always remember, in anaerobic respiration in yeast, ethanol is formed. A longitudinal section of the kidney and some associated structures have been labeled. As I told you, it would be I. 22A. The renal artery moves away from the heart and into the other organs. So it's this, and the cortex is the outer layer, and the medulla is the inner layer, and the ureter goes down, so into your urinary bladder, and you take it out as waste products of metabolism, toxic materials, and stuff like that. There's a whole definition for execution, which can take cost you around 3 marks. So the definition is pretty simple. Execution is the process in which waste products of metabolism, toxic materials, and substances in excess of requirements are excreted out of the body. Question number 23. Reflex reaction. It's 3, 1, 2 nerve impulses pass from the receptor to the neuron. And that neuron would be sensory. Sensory to relay, relay to motor, motor to effector. I hope you get it. If not, and if you're watching in year 2019, watch my video. Please help my division guy. If you're watching live yesterday, or no, tomorrow, or today itself, once this video gets uploaded, I'm sorry, you have to wait for a year, probably. No, you have to wait for a year and 1 month, because I'm going to upload all of them in January 2019. Ah, 24. How many different kinds of cone receptors and rod receptors? I told you there are 3 types of cone receptors, R, G, D. So 3 types of cone receptors, 1 type of rod receptor, which helps you see in the dark. That's why bats have a lot of rod receptors. I'm giving you good facts today. What is the result of release of adrenaline? I showed you. I did a bit of a tiny skit, probably, and blood glucose concentration would increase, and the pulse would also increase. That's why you feel hungry, and your heart rate increases. Question number 26. Which statement about microorganisms are correct? And question number 26. The answer would be B, of course, because bacteria can become resistant to antibiotics. And bacteria killed by hydrochloric acid in the duodenum. That is completely incorrect. Kick out duodenum out of the question. Get out of here. Hydrochloric acid is never formed in the duodenum. It's always formed in the stomach. Bacterial infections and viruses are treated by with antibiotics. No, viruses are not treated by antibiotics because they don't get treated. They change their form. Like they can change into different shapes. Like antibiotics have different antibodies which stick into the bacteria which they have, and they kill it. But they won't happen with viruses, as viruses are idiots. You can say. They actually not idiots, they are really smart. They outsmart our whole body mechanism. So they are pretty smart, and they change their shapes whenever they sense danger, like antibiotics. And they change their shape, and the antibiotics are not able to attack the viruses, and so they are not resistant. They are resistant to antibiotics and are not treated with antibiotics. That's why they say like a flu or a cold would take you a week if you take antibiotics, or 7 days if you don't take antibiotics. Antibiotics are only taken because your immune system would decrease if a virus attacks you, and antibiotics are taken to prevent you from getting other diseases alongside the cold. Bacteria produce sugars. No, they produce acids and cause tooth decay. So tooth decay is caused by acids and not sugars. This is a common misconception students make while writing papers in the exam. So they don't produce sugars, they produce acid, which causes tooth decay. Dianthus flowers can be one of 3 different colors: red, pink, or white. A red flower is homozygous to a white flower, that is, which is also homozygous. Pink flowers are heterozygous. If a red and a white flowers are crossed, the percentage on the offspring will be 100% if you draw it on a Punnett square, which I just showed you. An alligator has 32 chromosomes at each of the cells of its nose. How many chromosomes will an alligator zygote contain? So, all of its cells would contain exactly 32 chromosomes, but its sex cells, or its sex cells, would have half the number of chromosomes, which would be 60. So if it's talking about the sperm of an alligator, that would be 60. Which hormone is produced by the cells in the placenta of the developing fetus? It's progesterone, not testosterone. Testosterone is for males. LH and FSH are during the menstrual cycle. So it's progesterone. And 30. The diagram shows 4 types of birth control. A is a condom, B is a femidom, D is a diaphragm, and C is... Actually, I'm not sure what that is, but as A, B, and D are not applicable, are a barrier method of contraception, I think C is the correct answer. So that wraps up all our questions to question number 30. Well, we are exceeding our time limit and we still have 10 questions to discuss. But don't worry, guys. I'll meet you in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are back with the last episode for this paper. Actually, this is the same video. Why am I saying that? I'm just pausing the video just to take a break. Oh, the recording. I mean, not the video. Okay, forget it. Okay, question number 31. Which blood component is destroyed in people who are HIV positive? What does HIV do? Oh, by the way, yesterday was AIDS, World AIDS Day. So it's kind of a coincidence. Like I'm getting the question of HIV. All right. Which blood component is destroyed in people who have HIV positive? They destroy the lymphocytes. Due to this, their immune system breaks down and they get sick really easily, which is not good. That's why people really die a lot in HIV. That's bad. Red blood cells, no, they are not affected. Platelets are not affected, and not even phagocytes are affected. The lymphocytes are affected, and so antibodies are not able to be secreted in HIV, which is pretty bad. Okay, I feel pity for those who have HIV. God, please help them. Okay, sorry, I missed a question. Question number 22. What are stem cells? Specialized cells? Okay, they are not unspecialized. They are always specialized, so forget that. Oh, they are not specialized. They are always unspecialized. I'm sorry. So, unspecialized cells that divide by meiosis or mitosis. The answer is mitosis. So they never do meiosis. So the specialized, unspecialized, meiosis, and mitosis are the keywords for solving this sentence. Stem cells are actually used. Take an example of the skin cells, for example. Like whenever you get a cut, your injury, like your wound, will be sealed in a day or two. 2 days max. 2 to 3 days. 3 days max. Take 3 days. This is due to those stem cells. So when those fibrinogen gets clots your blood over there, so that blood doesn't secrete. The stem cells do their work now. They will divide by mitosis and produce your skin back together again, and so you have good old skin again. So you don't have a cut anymore. So the answer is D. Moving on, question number 33. This is pretty long. The list shows a diploid number of chromosomes for four organisms: fruit fly 8, human 46, potato 48, and garden peas 14. What is the correct chromosome number of a male sex cell in each of these organisms? Half the number of chromosomes. So 4, 23, 24, 7. It's 8. Biology MCQ is actually not that hard. It's pretty easy. The theory paper gets kind of difficult. Yeah. 34. Which of these is a population? All the insects in a rainforest, all the tigers in a rainforest, and all the kapok trees in a rainforest. So, a population would be all the insects in a rainforest. So, and all the kapok trees. I think it's no. It'll be all 3 of them. All 3 of them would be a population, because population is the specific amount of species living in a particular environment. But insects include all insects, but population is of only one species. So tigers and kapok trees are one specific species, so the answer is 2 and 3 only. I'm definitely sure about that. Question number 35. The number of bacteria resistant to antibiotics is increasing. What has contributed to this situation? Well, I would say B. Not completing the course of prescribed antibiotics. Sorry about that. I'm tired of speaking for 59 whole minutes. Choosing the antibiotic carefully to match the strain of the bacterium actually shouldn't. have contributed to this situation of the number of bacteria resistant to the antibiotics increasing? Let's see, tracing, testing, and treating people who have been in contact with it. Nah, they haven't contributed, no. And not even the antibiotics who were only when essential. So, no, not completing the course of prescribed antibiotics. B is the answer. I'm 90% sure about this answer. Not that sure. Moving on to question number 36. The processes listed in 1 to 4 will affect the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Increase deforestation, increase forestation, decrease fossil fuel consumption, increase fossil fuel consumption. Which processes would increase the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Concentration of carbon dioxide. To increase fossil fuel consumption and increase deforestation. It's 1 and 4. It's B. 36 is B. 1 and 4. Did I miss a question? No. Okay. 37. The graph shows the changes in the populations of predator and prey over a period of time. Which point on the graph shows the decrease in predator population? I'd say it's B. This is because it actually shows the decrease in predator population, and I don't know how to explain this graph. Let's see. A would be the prey, and A and C would be the preys, and A is the increase of prey. So and C would be the decrease of prey, and B would be the decrease of predator as the number of prey has reduced, and D would be the increase of predator as the number of prey has increased. So the answer is B. Yeah, I think that's the correct answer. Moving on to question number 38, which is a reason for using bacteria in biotechnology. Bacteria are found inside the human body, and bacteria can become more resistant to antibiotics. Yes, I think it's B. Bacteria can make complex molecules, and bacteria reproduce slowly. No, they reproduce really quickly. So it's B. Bacteria can become resistant to antibiotics. Why is yeast used in bread making? To produce ethanol, to produce alcohol, carbon dioxide, oxygen sugar, just get out of here. Carbon dioxide, alcohol, not alcohol, it produces carbon dioxide. That is why it is used in bakeries or in bread making. Oh. So the answer is B. The last one. The graph shows the levels of dissolved oxygen and mineral ions in a river. At which point does raw sewage enter the river? A, B, C, or D? I'd say A. That is where the mineral ion that is where raw sewage enters, because see the level of dissolved oxygen decreases, and the level of mineral ions increases. As mineral ions increases, that means the different ions in raw sewage, disgusting, would increase, and this is where the drop of oxygen took place, which is a major region of raw sewage. And I am most probably sure, I think it's A. Yeah, the dissolved oxygen is less, and it's A. So we'll just check our answers from 31 to 40. Which blood component is destroyed? It is A, lymphocytes. Stem cells, D, I explained. Unspecialized and mitosis are the keywords in stem cells. 33, half number of chromosomes, divide 8 by 2, 46 by 2, 48 by 2, or 14 by 2. You'll get the answer 4, 23, 24, 7. Which of these is a population? Insects is actually an ecosystem, as there are many different species of insects, and tigers and carboxyles are a single species. Carboxyles are single species of trees, and tigers are single species of animals. So it's 2 and 3, and the answer is D. Question number 35. The number of bacteria resistant to antibiotic is increasing. What has contributed? It is definitely not completing the course of prescribed antibiotics, because the other reasons are actually not contributing to this specific situation of the number of bacteria resistant to antibiotics increasing. Moving on to question number 36. The processes listed in the 1 to 4 will affect the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Increased deforestation, increased fossil consumption, increased fossil consumption. Combustion and combustion. Decrease fossil fuel combustion, increase fossil combustion. So the answer is B, 1 and 4. There will be increased deforestation, so there will be increased fossil fuel combustion, leading to increasing carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. 37. The graph shows the changes of population of predator and prey over a period of time. Which part of the graph shows the decrease in predator population? It's B, as I explained. The A and C1 graph would have the population of the prey, and the B and D would have the population of predator. And if prey population decreases, also the predator population decreases. So that the answer would be B. In C, the prey population kind of decreases, but not that much as massively as after the curve in A over here. So in D, is the predator population increasing as the prey population has increased. Which is the reason of using bacteria in biotechnology? This is because bacteria become resistant to antibiotics, and bacteria are not found inside the human body. That's not correct. As I was discussing, sorry about the interaction. Which is the reason for using bacteria in biotechnology? Bacteria become resistant to antibiotics. Sorry again for the interruption. Moving on. Bacteria can make complex molecules. That is not the reason why bacteria is used in biotechnology. The main reason, and probably the only reason, bacteria are used in biotechnology. Not the only reason. There are other reasons like bacteria. No one has problems in killing bacteria, right? Oh yeah, no one has problems with killing bacteria. So it's actually B, because bacteria can become resistant to antibiotics. That is why bacteria is used in biotechnology. So we want to learn more about these bacteria. Question number 39. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay. We made a mistake. Okay, I did not read the question properly. Which is a reason for using bacteria in biotechnology? I am stupid. Bacteria can make complex molecules. This is why it is used. Yes, we have done a mistake here. They are used because bacteria can make complex molecules, not because they are resistant to antibiotics. Okay, they make really complex molecules, which is a headache, and this is why they become sometimes become resistant to antibiotics, because they have such complex molecules. And as they have such complex molecules, we want to break them down and use them in biotechnology. This will probably help us a lot in the near future. This can also make us understand more about the secret life of bacteria. Okay, and now, why is used in bread making? It produces carbon dioxide. Alcohol is of no use in bread, so it produces carbon dioxide, so it fluffs up and becomes big the way just you like it. Anyone want a Subway? I want a Subway. I'm hungry now. Listen to that bread. Tasty Subway. Now, last question, discussing and then looking at the marks. Oh my god, what happened? Oh god, come on. Okay, we're here. The graph shows the dissolved oxygen. As I said that over here at this specific space, the dissolved oxygen, oxygen decreases massively after this, and the mineral ions increases, and so this A is the place where the oxidation enters. Let's look at the marks now. A D A D B B B C D A. Okay, guys. That leads the end to this wonderful paper which we did. This paper was actually pretty interesting, if you ask me. I actually really like this paper. Um, and so if you had any doubts in this paper, if you have any doubts in another paper, we'll be doing 22 and 23 probably tomorrow. And you can watch that video tomorrow or probably this evening if I get free. This has been Secret Gamer 0203 signing out.